chicken and pickle. This is the Jeff Traylor Radio Show. The Jeff Traylor Radio Show, presented by UT Health San Antonio, the official health.
Can I get a mic check on Coach's mic real quick?
By Chicken and Pickle. Good food, good friends, great fun.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Also
1, 2,
brought to you
3.
by
All good. Cool.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. And by Credit Human, the official credit union of the UTSA Roadrunners. Now, with head coach Jeff Traylor, here's the voice of the Roadrunners, and
Mike thoughts.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Chicken and Pickle tonight for the Coach Jeff Traylor Radio Show, brought to you by UT Health San Antonio. I'm your host, Pat Evans, along with Jay Riley for the next hour. We're going to be visiting with Coach Traylor, talking about the win last week over Temple, the outstanding play over the last few weeks of the Roadrunners. We'll talk with special guest Christian Clayton, and we're hoping for Robert Henry also to join us today. We'll talk about UTSA being bowl eligible and where we might prefer to go. Plus, we're going to look ahead to Saturday morning's matchup with the Black Knights of Army. And please now welcome to the show, Coach Jeff Traylor. Here you are.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. I told Andy a while ago when I was talking to him.
I heard.
Y'all had awful big shoes to fill.
Big shoes. Well, you know, big shoes, but I've been at it a lot longer than he has because I'm older.
Well, and one of his foot's been broken all year, so at least you don't have to do that.
So we got that. 10-game home winning streak. Pretty good. Playing against Temple.
Can we figure out a way to hook the Alamo Dome up and take it to New York?
Please. You know, I have it written down here. We're not at home and we're not playing in black. What are we going to do?
Yeah, and it's going to be 30-something degrees in
40.
windy, so yeah.
But it's cold. I also have written down here, how do you handle the weather?
Well, I don't handle it very well. Thank God I don't have to play. You know, let's go back to where it started. 10-game winning streak at home. That's pretty special, obviously. I think 29-3 in 5 years with those kids. So, you know, we lost 26 seniors Saturday to graduation, and the program's totally different than the one we recruited them to. And I mean, they were in one of the worst facilities in the country when they were recruited, and they still came here anyway.
Yeah.
And now they're in one of the nicest facilities in the country. 5 straight bowl appearances, 2 conference championships, 29-3 at home. A lot in 2 in the month of November. So those kids left a tremendous legacy. And more than anything, the difficult losses we had, you know, as rough as we've ever had here. Right. And they hung in there together and just kept getting better. And we're playing really good football right now.
Well, I also think, too, that one of the things where you guys have come from, as you said, the fact that you got them to come here and stay here is even more incredible.
Yeah, you know, coming here, San Antonio is a wonderful city. We at least had pictures of what the race facility is going to look like if it was ever going to come true, you know. Right. There's a lot to sell here to recruit. Keeping them here has probably been the greater challenge just because of the enormous gap that's happened, unforeseen to all of us in the last few years of what the P4 schools can pay and what we can pay. And that's been the most miraculous thing of all. And that's why I'm moving forward with this settlement, you know, in July 25. We have a real opportunity to make a decision as a university to not be a farm system for those teams.
Right. And
to keep our finest kids here in San Antonio. We're not going to have what those other guys have. Our kids are not going to demand that, but they need to be reciprocated for what as much as we can get them for what they're worth.
Well, in the last 2 weeks, there's been a couple of coaches, new coaches, interim coaches. Everett Withers at Temple was talking about whether or not they were going to make the commitment to actually put a winning program together. I mean, I think that we've done that, and we're working on that. Correct?
Yeah, our administration has definitely said we are going to revenue share. We don't know what that number is yet,
right.
And we're trying to sign a class here in December, and those guys want to kind of know where we're headed. And I know all the powers that be are meeting and discussing and talking of what that commitment level is going to be. So, you know, when I find out, you know, I'll start communicating with recruits. And but the court case has to be, you know, I think January we'll know more for sure.
Right.
April we'll know more for sure, and then it's rolling in July.
Well, I know that the Army coach in his press conference today was just all over praise for you and the program because of the ability to keep the kids here, to have them play, and the continuity that you brought to the program.
Well, I appreciate it. I have a lot of respect for Jeff Monken. You know, he's been there 10 seasons, maybe 11.
11.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
His staff has been there with him so long, which screams of the character of the man that Jeff is. You know, Coach Woody's been there with him for 5 seasons. His O-line coach 10 seasons. I was just going through his list of guys the other day. It's crazy how long those guys have all been together. We brag on our staff of how all of us have been together for 5 years. And these guys, we've got 10s and 11s and 11s and 10s over here. What a remarkable job he's done. But it's also why Senior Day was so important and special for us this last week. Those defensive guys, you know, we've been together a long time. Ligon was probably our first recruit. 5 years with that guy. I mean, and you go with Brandon Brown, 4 years, and Cyrus Simon, 5 years. Donye Taylor, 5 years. I mean, that's a long time.
That kid sitting over there, Christian Clayton, he's been around for 6.
Yeah, my man Christian, C-Square. I see him back there. And really having a great year, having a great, great year. I knew when we lost Joe that was going to be a big loss, but I told my staff, I said, Christian is fixing to really come on. He reminds me a lot of what Tyke went through, kind of Chris Carpenter. I always thought their ceiling was here. They just had never gotten there.
Right.
And he's there now. And couldn't be more thrilled for him and the success he's had. And there's other ones. French has been with me for a long time now.
Yeah.
We can keep going. Ken Robinson been here with Christian this entire time. We're going to miss those guys. We've got to go recruit basically a whole new defense and try to hold on to our whole offense. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, talk about the emotions out there. Friday night, seniors coming out. This is your first recruiting class. They're graduating and all that they've accomplished. And I know you got a huge heart for these kids. And just talk about the emotions.
Yeah, I teased with them when I was coming down the elevator to talk to them before the game. At the hotel, I cried the whole way down the elevator. I cried in my room thinking about what I was going to tell them. Then I just told them I was sorry. I was just such a sissy, man. I just told them I usually use another word other than sissy, but it was a word that was soft, and I just told them I meant it. And then the stretch line was even worse. I was just crying all over their shoulders, and I love those dudes, man. I do.
We got a couple more games left with them, and the way they played against Temple, sing the praises of the defense. Start there.
Yeah, we kind of messed it up on offense. Chris never fumbles the ball. He fumbled one. Owen, who's been so great with the ball all year, had 2 really bad throws. They got 3 turnovers. Usually when you have 3 turnovers, you're pretty much a kiss of death. But our defense was so dominant. Broke so many school records. They just kept putting us in positions. The kickoff return team, Chris redeemed himself, returned for a touchdown. It was a strange game. But new school record for tackles for losses, tied the school record for most single sacks in a game. We were just dominant on defense.
Is that 2 weeks in a row too that we've had the defensive player of the week in?
I'm terrible at that. That's why Kyle's here. Kyle lets me know.
No, not 2 weeks in a row because Martavius and Jamori.
I think Martavius was an honorable mention or something, but certainly Jamori set the world on fire.
I'm the worst at that stuff. That's why I have Kyle. As soon as the game's over, all those stats I rattle off to y'all, Kyle just hands them to me and I read them. If they're ever wrong, blame Kyle.
Coach, you talked about the emotions. All season long, this team plays with a lot of emotion, and in some cases it got us in some trouble early on, but they managed the emotions, especially the last few weeks. But senior night, there was a lot of emotion, and they came out like a ball of fire.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, I've been a head coach 20 years. My guys have always played on the edge. We've crossed the edge a few times this year, and I take that very heavily because I want my guys to play with swagger. I want my guys to play free. We're very intentional playing with an edge. We've just crossed it, and we don't cross it at home. I think because our crowd's there, our band's there, our palm squad's there. We just feel very comfortable at home. And I really challenge these guys this week. Are we going to take what we've learned in East Carolina and Rice and Tulsa and check ourselves right when we're about to cross that line?
Right.
Because we live on that edge. We just can't cross that line. That's going to be our challenge Saturday, because we're playing such a remarkable team in adverse weather. It's going to be a huge challenge for our guys.
We're going to talk about that coming up in a little bit. Every time the runners score a touchdown and make a 2-point conversion, it's an 8-point possession, and one lucky fan wins $888 thanks to Wainwright Injury Attorneys, the official injury attorneys of UTSA Athletics. Now, UTSA student Tristan Belton won $888 at the North Texas game. Go to the promotions page on the UTSA app and register to win your $888 today, courtesy of Wainwright. And the Nissan Frontier Ancira Punt for a Pickup contest was held on Friday at the Temple game, but this year nobody won. We'll try again next year in the Ancira Punt for a Pickup contest, courtesy of the Ancira family of dealerships and All-American Car Wash. This is the Jeff Traylor Radio Show from Chicken and Pickle. Will continue in a moment on Sports Radio AM 760, The Ticket. Trailer Radio program. I'm Pat Evans along with Jay Riley. We are live from Chicken and Pickle. Every 2 seconds in the U.S., someone needs blood, and every time you donate blood, you're saving up to 3 lives. Visit southtexasblood.org to schedule your donation, because when you give, they live. And USAA honors the heroes who serve in our military as the official military appreciation sponsor of UTSA. We have 2 heroes of the gridiron with us tonight, and we're getting to know them better during our USAA Heroes of the Week segment. Our first hero of the gridiron, defensive lineman, big fella, Christian Clayton.
Hey,
Christian,
come on now.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
6-year senior, part of the 2019 signing class. What made you decide to come to UTSA back then?
I kind of say UTSA was one of the first schools to offer me, so I feel like that was one of the schools that believed in me the most, the younger me thinking like that, and I just went with UTSA.
And when you were originally recruited, the facilities were less. I mean, we were playing in the Alamo Dome,
Right.
but there wasn't what's there now.
Right, but they did have those pictures of the facilities showing me that they would be
Pictures
good.
are good.
Yeah, and it looked beautiful, so I was looking forward to it the whole time I was here.
And when you first got here, your first impression of this man, Coach Traylor, when he took over, what were you thinking at the time?
I kind of didn't know what to expect, but he a good man. I love playing for him.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to do when you're in the game and you're lined up and you're getting ready? What's your favorite thing to do? Is it to crush the quarterback or stuff the run?
Being a big guy like me, I'll probably say stop the run. Stop the run is probably the funnest thing to me.
Well, talk about that defensive line room.
Right.
I mean, there is so much talent, and you guys rotate in and out. Coach Traylor talks all the time. There's really not starters. It's a whole bunch of guys doing a job. It seems to be a tradition at UTSA to have a great defensive line. How proud of you of helping establish that?
I'm proud. I love being a part of this D line. We got some good dudes in our room. I love being around them. It's a fun environment to be around.
It's one of my favorite rooms to go in. One of my favorite meetings of the week. The day before the game, Coach Haynes does a wonderful job, but his assistant does a really good job, Coach Gibbons, of going over the scouting report. They call themselves the EBE, everybody eats. And I love sitting in there just going over their scouting report. They got some good beats going, and they just show each offensive lineman what their plan is for the week, right. And we're going to miss them. I mean, we're taking a huge loss there in leadership. I call them old heads that have helped me through some tough times, mainly this year, and it's going to be a huge loss. And I'm just so grateful we got in the bowl, because I really wanted to coach these kids for another month. Sometimes you coach and you're ready for the season to be over. This is not one of those groups. I really enjoy coaching these kids.
What are some of the things that you guys go over in the scouting reports? I mean, what are you guys looking for? What are you guys talking about?
On the scouting reports, we'll go over each individual offensive lineman and their strengths and their weaknesses, and I think Colin does a good job of that and getting that information to us.
And then you is that where the game scheme comes together, or what, when you're in those meetings? Is that when it happens?
No, more so like the beginning of the week is when our scheme is put together, and towards the end of the week we'll go over each offensive lineman individually.
Okay. Yeah, we install it. Like, for example, on a normal week they play on Saturday. We'll grade the video on Saturday. They'll come in on Sunday. We'll put the game to bed. We'll work all Sunday night to get the game plan installed, base downs. Then Monday we'll get, our third down and red zone, just look through it a little bit and get the base. So when they show up, they'll get the base down install, first and second down. Then the next day they'll get the third down install. Then they'll get the red zone install. And then we'll walk it a couple of times, and they'll go out there and execute it.
You looking forward to playing on Saturday?
Yes, sir, I am.
And Sundays, too.
He's going to play Sunday, too, yeah.
I slipped because I was getting ready to ask, okay, what's next?
I'm going to look forward to training for the next level.
Okay. And hoping, fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
His pro day will be big. You know,
For
we
sure.
have every NFL team will be there, and you know him, Brandon Brown, Joe Evans, Osiris, all those guys have had great careers, and they're gonna get hard looks. They will. And then you got Jamori at the wheel, you got Danye at the sound, you got Ligon at the mic, you got or the jack, you got French, you got Brevin, you got Ken, you got Elliott. We're gonna have a lot of seniors out there at pro day, and yeah, if you're a recruit out there or any of my young guys, be ready to roll.
Yeah.
Jeff, these guys have spent a lot of time in the opposition backfield. Obviously, their scheme, but these guys have to have the talent to pull it off. I mean, just what is the combination that gets them TFLs all the time?
What's the style we play? I mean, that I want my guys to go. It's why we give up some big plays too. Now we're a high risk, high reward team. We live on the edge at all times, but you know, it's just kind of my personality. We recruit to that. I want guys that want to do that, and those guys enjoy it. They had to stay home sometimes and play the double team, and that's part of it too. But when I can move them and let them go eat, we're going to try to do that as much as we can. Coach Haynes deserves a lot of that credit. Coach Gibbons, you know, Coach Ashley, and Coach Lepp, those guys are the ones that scheme it all up. I'm just the straw that stirs the drink.
Is it just coincidence that it's come together in the last couple of weeks where you've come close, if not tied, school records for TFLs?
I don't think so. We stay at it now. We like each other. We like being around each other. It's not a coincidence we've only lost 2 games in November in 5 years. I mean, that's not a coincidence. That's guys that most of the time guys are done playing ball. They don't want to come to practice. They're ready for all this to be over. A lot of guys opt out of bowl games. Our guys will not. I mean, Christian's already graduated. He knows how many hours he's got to pass to get in that bowl game, and he's doing double work right now to make sure he can get in that bowl game. Where a lot of seniors just be like, man, I've had a heck of a career. I'm out. And they're just not that way.
Well, Christian, you've played in 65 career games, and that's 2 off the record that's held by Kelechi Wachuku at 67. So
What a great motivator. That boy good. You better pass some classes, Christian.
so you got Army and you got the bowl game. Right. That's 2 to tie the record.
That's awesome. I did not know that.
Can't we add another one? Come on, Jeff. Can't you add another one to get him the record?
I'm afraid that's all I got. That's all I got.
The cupboard is bare.
2, you know, make him a super senior. We can do that.
I'd give anything to get him back, but I'm afraid.
Now let's give him a second to talk about probably the most pride. You got a little baby over there.
Yes,
Tell us
sir.
about Mackenzie.
Mackenzie, that's my son, man. He's so special to me. It's something I love coming home to.
Yeah,
As
I'll
most of us
brag on
do.
him. I've done this before, and he's heard it a million times. But one of our boosters, Andrew Waterman, was looking for some guys. He's hired a lot of our guys, and he asked me what I thought about Christian. And I said, look, he's one of my favorite kids. So when he wants to work, man, he can work as hard as anybody. But when he don't want to do nothing, good freaking luck.
Yeah.
And so he goes off, and he's working, and I've not really checked on him. But Andrew came to me. He said, of all your guys I've hired, which one do you think has been told to me by all my employees is the hardest worker? I named off like 5 of my guys. I never named off Christian. He's like, nope. He's like, Christian Clayton's the hardest worker I got.
You're the construction guy.
I'm not, but I did work with him.
Okay, so because I heard this story, and I heard that you're the hardest, you're the hardest working guy out there. So congratulations on that.
That's a heck of a thing to be said behind your back.
Yeah, right. And you can hang around for a little bit if you want. We got to take a break, and we'll be back. This is the Coach Jeff Traylor radio program. We'll continue in a moment. This is Roadrunner Football on the UTSA Sports Network, driven by North Park Subaru, a proud member of the K-Lig Auto Group. San Antonio, Texas. And before we go any further, fans, Texas Farm Bureau insurance members can get 2 free tickets to Roadrunners men's basketball games, baseball games, and more when you redeem online. Become a Texas Farm Bureau insurance member and visit goutsa.com/TFB tickets to learn more. And UT Health San Antonio is the official healthcare partner of UTSA Athletics. See how UT Health San Antonio's brightest minds are making lives better at WeMakeLivesBetter.org. We are visiting with Coach Jeff Traylor. It is his radio program. Coach, one of the things I want to talk about, I just asked Jay whether or not I should even ask this question because, we beat up on Temple. We put half 100 on them. We can still talk about that, right? That's a good thing to talk about. Yes?
Hello.
There he
see,
is.
with the mic going totally silent, that means it's time to move on. That's the Lord telling us, don't beat on your chest, man.
Okay.
Better focus on
Okay.
the Army. But yeah, obviously, it's your radio show, and I'm here to entertain. So, we were excited, but I didn't think we played very well. We were 3 out of 13 on third down. We had 3 turnovers.
Right.
We were sloppier. I thought we were emotional. We were young, and we didn't want to let those seniors down. I thought our young guys felt some pressure. They wanted to send that defense out correctly.
Right.
And I didn't think we played very free. I thought we played very free against Memphis. Thought we were very free against North Texas. And I thought we looked a little tight, personally. So I don't mind talking about it because I wasn't as pleased as I bet y'all think I was. Because you're thinking, well, we scored 51. Well, did we? We had turnovers. We had TFLs. We had a kickoff return for a touchdown. We played on a short field most of the night. Yeah, I'm thrilled that we had all those big plays. We had more. It kind of looked like the old Roadrunner offense,
right.
How many big plays we had. But we did not sustain drives. Now, I will give Temple a ton of credit. Their defense was really good. Their defensive line gave us a lot of trouble. But I was very worried about 34. And he had 0 tackles, 0 sacks, 0 assists. We blanked him. And he was as good a player there is in the league.
Right.
And our staff deserves some of that credit, but our offensive line deserves them, and our tight ends and running backs.
Jeff, I noticed in the post-game show, most people, the run sets up to pass. But the running game has come along, and with some big plays, obviously, thrown in there. But your comment during the post-game, the pass has helped you set up the run.
Yeah, we're
and
getting
because
played,
Owen's playing so well.
We're getting played totally different right now than we did early in the year. And it was smart early in the year. You had a young quarterback. He had not played. You had a receiver unit that was just – we were in shambles as far as who was going to play. So many injuries going on out there. It was very smart by the defense. But now, they've seen how good we're throwing the ball around. So they're coaching too. So they're trying to take away what we do best. And we kind of got our running game going a little bit now.
It was funny because last week you sat there and you told me that you watch, one of the first plays, they're going to have 7 guys are going to turn and run backwards. And I think it was probably like the first play. 7 guys turned and ran the other direction.
Yeah, there's a tremendous separation right now when you just watch about 1 second after the ball where they're all headed versus where they were early in the year. So,
and that has a lot to do with the growth of Owen.
And the tight ends and the receivers, but yes, mainly the quarterback who's putting the ball as good as, even though I'm on him about those 2 interceptions,
right.
Some of those throws he made the other night, that throw he made to Willie on the sideline over there, the run he made, 75 yards, his scrambles at timely times to get a first down. But this is going to be his toughest test. This week will be his toughest test. Wind, cold, top 5 defense in the country, top 20 team in the country.
And half the plays.
Right, he won't get many snaps. He won't get in a rhythm. He's going to be out there, hopefully, a long time for us.
Right.
And then if their defense, their offense does what they normally do, they had the ball 45 minutes the last time we played them, and we had it 15 minutes.
Well, I saw the North Texas game. They Army ran a 21-play, like a 4-day drive.
Chandler got 3 snaps that quarter. In that game, Army had it 42 minutes, and North Texas had it 18. But North Texas on the opening drive had it for like 7 minutes before Army even got it. So they only had it for the rest of the game 11 minutes. So they had 1 drive, and then the rest of the game 11 minutes total.
And that's kind of what we're going to be looking at this
I hope
week.
not. I hope our defense is going to stop them. So.
Well, yeah.
But nobody else is. They're the number 1 rush offense in the country. number one time of possession, number one red zone defense, third least penalized team. They're a well-oiled machine.
Now, talk about you play all kinds of offenses, but your corners, your safeties, they're at least covering somebody. and Army throws the ball about 3 times. Tell us what it takes to go from preparing for Temple or North Texas to preparing for Army.
Well, people oversimplify what they do. They act like they just run, base dive, quarterback run or pitch. They've got so many schemes they're doing up there. They're really well coached. They do a lot of stuff. Whatever you have to stop, they have the adjustment. They'll make the adjustment. So then you got to have the answer to their adjustment. Then their formations, they're going to out-formation you. And then they've got a very, very good player in the quarterback. The offensive line is really, really well coached, and they're mature and they're old and they're strong. And their skill kids are always just good enough so that when you overcommit to what they're really good at, their skill kids get you on the corner and then they're out for a while.
And how important is 10 years of coaching that these kids see it year in, year out, and they know what they're really damn good at what they do because they do it all the time.
And they're really good coaches. Jeff is as good as there is. He's a really great human. He's hired great assistants on his staff. They know who they are as a team. They know exactly what they're doing. They've won with that recipe and that model for a long time, and we have the utmost respect. We get excited to play them because we have so much respect for them.
Well, and this will be we've played them 5 times so far, and last time we were there, we beat them.
Yeah.
It was a milder climate.
It was
than what
September.
we're going in.
It was
Yeah.
September.
Milder.
It was a second-half comeback again that Frank Harris obviously was part of engineering.
Right.
The entire staff got into that. But that was a tough game as well up there. And I think at the time, I think UTSA was even favored going into that game. And we don't talk about favored because it's got to be played. But you're not going to be favored this time.
Yeah, we went into overtime. I remember it like it was yesterday, and we held them to a field goal, and we threw a fade to J.T. Clark,
Yep.
and it was ball game. That was a great feeling. That's a fun 3.5-hour
That
plane
was
ride home.
a very nice ride home.
That fade has been fun over the years, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've done okay on that play.
Yeah.
We had got another one Friday. Willie got one. It's a back
Yeah,
shoulder, but it's still a fade.
That was a great toss
Yeah.
from Owen.
He
into
threw
the
it
corner.
where only Willie could get it.
Where
that's
only
for
Willie
sure.
could get it.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, we will continue our discussion on the Jeff Traylor Radio program. Compare HEB prices to any store. We check and compare thousands of prices on the things that you use to gear up for the game. Also, you can fill up your cart without emptying your wallet. When it comes to UTSA football, no store does more than HEB, a proud supporter of UTSA athletics. And enjoy Bud Light while cheering on the runners. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of UTSA athletics. Birds up, buds up, all season long. The Jeff Traylor Radio Show will continue in just a moment on this, the Roadrunner Sports Network, driven by North Park Subaru, a proud member of the K-Lig Auto Group.
There we go. 78 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. And I think an honorable mention for the AAC Player of the Week. So congratulations.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, great stuff.
Walk us through the 88-yard run, that big run.
88-yard run. I was just trusting my tracks, you know. I knew the O-line was going to block it over real well, so when they did, I seen green grass, I hit it.
And I can't remember the last time that a running back has broken off that kind of a run. Oh, wait a minute. No, you had one a couple of weeks ago, too. So I remember that one, too.
See, what happened, and he won't tell you all this, but Coach Griffin is his running back coach, and he went out recruiting about 2 weeks ago, so I took over the running backs at practice, and I got him going. Now I got him going so good, I just handed him back to Coach Griffin right now. So
He did do that.
I got to that tail. I went back to my old days, man. I coached running backs the whole day. G-Buck got back really quick. He heard the head man was coaching his backs.
You know, I mean, the running game was a little suspect at the beginning of the year, and in the last few weeks, it's really taken off. Is it because of him? I mean,
Yes, sir.
That's what I tell G-Buck.
good answer. Good answer.
No, it's Robert and those backs and that line, how they've stayed. They've been frustrated all year, and I feel bad for them because I know they're better backs than what they've got to show y'all. But we just stayed at it. We've been healthy on the O-line now. Those same guys have played now for a while. Right. Where early in the year it was fruit basket turnover, had to find a new left guard, had to find a new center, had to find a right tackle, and now those 5 have been together for a while, and Robert trusts them.
Jeff, talk about the conversations. Running game's not working. Most coaching staffs are going to bail on it, just throw it 60, 65 times. You guys stuck with it, and it's paying dividends.
Yeah, I just believe that practice is important, but the games are as important for the practice of the play. The kids, no matter what, the game's just different. And you got to keep getting video evidence on the game. And what he did a good job of, in all seriousness, I gave each of them a homework assignment. I said, look, during the open week, I want you to go study how many times you actually press the hill line before you cut. And if you're cutting before you get to the hill line, you're killing your O-line because you're not setting the linebackers up for them. To their credit, they went and graded their own runs. I graded them too. Robert graded himself harder than I graded him. He was very disappointed in how he was already making his decision before he ever got to the hill line. And you've got to go to the hill line to make the linebackers bite for our offensive line. I know that's deep, but Robert understands. And he's the one that deserves the credit for grading himself very hard, and he's cleaned his game up. He has.
And Robert, running behind an offensive line, not only does that offensive line need time together, you learn how they block, right?
Yes,
and you're able to cut or set up a block for somebody, so the consistency, has that helped you out as well?
Yes, sir. Just working it over and over. You know, eventually, it's going to work, and we're going to get the job done.
And you're very active in the passing game, too. How much fun is that?
Man, that's fun. Being able to catch the ball at the backfield.
Well, we use him because he's a weapon.
The speed is
his hands.
incredible.
He's got hands like a wide receiver.
Yeah.
He really is a natural ball catcher. He's really improved his pass protection. That's where he's improved the most. That's why we couldn't play him early in his career. He just wasn't very good at it. Now he's literally a 3-down back. He can play first down, second down, third down. You never even think about taking him out of the game. He's short yardage. He can go distance. He got the whole bag. And I'm excited for his pro day. I really want to help him get these last 2 games. I want him to finish strong, send him to this pro day, and watch him get into camp, and he'll have a hard time getting him cut.
Tell me the truth. In an 88-yard run, when are you gassed? When are you gassed, man?
When I got to the 10, I think I started feeling it.
I saw him pull his shoulders back. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to make it.
But you did get a chance to at least carry it into the end zone.
Yes, sir.
So that helped. You got your energy back enough to do that.
Yes, sir.
There's nothing worse than getting all the way down there, and then the running back coach puts in another back. That's the worst feeling.
Well, he was gassed. Yeah.
He was. But we left him out there.
Plans for the future, Robert?
Oh, go to the NFL and stay as long as I can.
You know, I love that. Please do us all a favor that when they announce you as the starting halfback for whoever, that you say Robert Henry Jr., UTSA.
Yes, sir.
Because when Spencer Burford does that
for the 49ers. I get such a kick out of it.
Well,
So,
just this week, Sincere. He had 5 carries. He averaged over 7 yards a carry. And kid's been in the league now 3 years. And he was a running back before Robert got here. So we've got a pretty good tradition of backs right now.
well, Robert, thank you for your contribution to the program, to UTSA. And let's see, you're 5th in UTSA history with 18 career touchdowns in only 2 seasons. Good luck against Army. Good luck in the bowl game, and good luck in the future to you.
Proud of you, Robert.
Thank you for your efforts, bud. Robert Henry, running back for UTSA. This is Roadrunner Football and the Jeff Traylor radio program on the UTSA Sports Network, driven by North Park Subaru, a proud member of the K-Lig Auto Group. 760 live from Chicken and Pickle. Good food, good friends, great fun. That's Chicken and Pickle. Delicious food, cold drinks, yard games, and pickleball for all. Chicken and Pickle, 5215 UTSA Boulevard at Vance Jackson. We are joined with Coach Traylor. Coach, we're going to talk about, see if the keys to the game for this Army game. What do you got in mind?
Yeah, well, I think everybody knows in our defense, I mean, can we hold up? I mean, no one else has stopped them, other than Notre Dame. And there's the reason they're the number one rush offense in the country. So, you got to play the quarterback, got to play the dive, got to play the pitch, play action pass. And they do a lot of stuff. Offensively, what's it going to be like in that weather? Can we handle it? Can we be good on the road? And then the special teams, those guys take a lot of pride in their units. And we got to stay solid in the teams, which we have been, but we got to stay solid there.
It is going to be a colder day, 40 degrees,
Yep.
but sunny. No wind that I could see, and no precipitation.
I got to look at your weather forecast. I'm seeing 35 and wind gusts of 25. And
That's Saturday. No, that's Friday.
I hope you're right.
By the time
we
promise,
watch it like crazy. I'm praying you're right.
Those 98% of the time they're wrong, so we'll hope for that.
I need your weather forecast.
Okay.
I need yours.
Okay. Have you guys been able to prepare at all for cold weather? I mean, we don't get that here, so.
Well, we go early in the morning, so we've had, not anything like that, but
Yeah.
we've had some cooler days. It was cooler this morning, and we were out there, but we haven't had anything like we're going to hit, Saturday.
Bowl games.
I'm totally off of social media. I wouldn't even know where we're projected. Anything you told me would be what I'm hearing. I haven't.
If you had a preference of going somewhere in Orlando, Tampa, Dallas, Albuquerque, I'll give you those four.
I always think about our crowd. I mean, our crowd, it's easier for them to get to Dallas. I mean, to get to Tampa or anywhere in Florida, obviously.
Right.
Albuquerque is just such a long haul. So I'm always going to choose. If I don't get to choose, ESPN's going to tell me where I'm playing.
Right.
But if I got to choose, I'd always choose where my fans could get to the game.
Do you have any input at all, or it's all straight from ESPN?
Yeah, it's all straight from ESPN, and maybe Dr. Compost might have some influence, but I know I don't. I think we're just told where we go and we show up and we play.
And we'll be looking forward to it. We did hear that one of the possible opponents would be Cincinnati, which would be a fun game.
I've got to play Army Saturday. I couldn't even begin to tell you anything about anybody. I just glad we're in it, and we got to go find a way to. We just got to get in the game with Jeff's team. They're so physical. They're so well coached. They're so tough, and just try to hang in there with them and see if we can pull it out late.
Jay?
Jeff, my only question about the game on Saturday is last time you played them in Army, you said they aren't going to run the ball on us. We're going to put 14 guys in the box if we have to, and if they throw it, so be it. Is that the same philosophy this time around?
I don't think you can ever show those guys the same thing you've done, that you've got to be different. They're too good at coaches. So we've got some ideas what we're going to try to do, but even if we were going to do that, I sure wouldn't tell you. We're playing Army.
Right.
I got a feeling they're going to be watching this radio show. Jeff Munkin is pretty good at his job. I know I watch all the stuff he says about us. I'm sure he's watching us.
Well, you certainly have the corners to man up with them if you need to, right?
Yeah, it's just they're going to do what they do, and their plays off their plays are the ones you got to survive. But if you don't stop their play, they're not going to run the play off the play. So you've got to at least slow down their base plays, and then their plays off of that are really, really good.
Well, my last comment is I think this may be the best coaching job I've seen you do, and you've done some really good stuff.
Well,
to hold these guys together, the leadership, I just want to congratulate you for – it was a tough year, but you and your staff really showed through.
Well, we're crushed. We really felt like we had a team that could go play Army to go to the championship game.
Right.
And we're literally 2 plays away from
Being
playing
a 9-win team.
and going and playing for the championship this week,
Yep.
or having a chance to participate in it. And those last-second losses at Rice and Tulsa will. There's certain losses you just take to your grave with you. Those guys are going to with the grave with me.
Well, Coach Monken, in his press conference today, did actually say that he thought that UTSA was a team that should be playing for the conference championship. So
we feel the same way, and I appreciate Jeff saying that. But he's the one going, not us. So we got to go try to beat them Saturday.
The keys to the game brought to you by K-League Auto. This season, Roadrunner touchdowns meant more than 6 points for every touchdown UTSA scored at home. The Texas Animal Defense League received $1,000 thanks to North Park Subaru. Last season, North Park Subaru donated $27,000 to the Texas Animal Defense League thanks to 27 UTSA touchdowns. It's North Park Subaru's TDs for charity. And fans, thanks to BMW, one lucky fan will win the ultimate home game weekend at the Alamo Dome at our home finale versus Temple, which was a week ago. And I hope you enjoyed yourself. That one lucky fan got 2 premium game tickets, a luxurious stay at the historic Maverick Hotel downtown, a BMW prize pack and dinner, and they cruise the city in a gorgeous new electric BMW X7 SUV. And be sure to check out GoUTSA.com promotions and register today for all the other ones. It's the BMW Ultimate Home Game Weekend. Coach Traylor, thank you so much for being a part of this tonight. The Coach Traylor radio program has been live from Chicken and Pickle here at UTSA Boulevard and Vance Jackson. And next week will be after, I believe that there's one other Jeff Traylor radio program with Andy Everett. Saturday's game is at 9 o'clock is the pregame. The game itself is at 11. We're looking forward to our game against Army. We leave Thursday. We leave Thursday early, and then Friday we maybe get there and do what we can. Thank you all for listening. This is Roadrunner Football on the UTSA Sports Network, driven by North Park Subaru, a proud member of the K-League Auto Group. Good night.